Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 horror film, The Devil Below. The film is directed by Bradley Parker and it stars Alicia Sands, Adam Cantor, Will Patton, Zach Avery and Jonathan Sadowski. Right, the film focuses on a group of geologists, adventurers, who are going to look for a famous abandoned mine from decades previously that apparently closed due to some huge fire. Many people were killed. So they're going to look there. They've been sent there. It's been funded by somebody, this expedition, and it is being led by Alicia Sands' character, Ariane, who's like a guide sort of thing, keeping them all safe. However, what they don't know is that this mine wasn't abandoned because of any fire many years previously. That story has been fabricated to keep people away. In actual fact, when it was a working mine, and we see this right at the beginning of the film, a lot of the miners are attacked by some unknown species, and the mine has been closed up since and protected by the locals to keep people safe. This group obviously find this mine, find a way in, and then unfortunately allow some things to escape. Right, what are my thoughts on The Devil Below? Well, this is a film that I was aware of last year. It is a film that I did have on my watch list. I never got around to watching it, basically. It's a basic, good old-fashioned creature feature, and they can be a lot of fun quite a lot of the time. The question is this one fun? Well, this one is watchable, is what I would say. I thought the setup here was excellent. The scene at the beginning, you see Will Patton as a younger man working in the mine with his son, and then you see an incident take place. It kind of gets you thinking, oh, okay, this could be quite good, this film. It looks quite interesting. And then it jumps forward to this group of people that aren't interesting at all. All they tend to do is squabble about science and, religion and all this kind of stuff. And they're not very likable characters. They're fairly forgettable. And to be honest, I couldn't really tell you any of their names. I think the only one that stands out is Alicia Sands' character, Ariane, who's like their guide sort of thing. She seems pretty tough as nails, pretty clued up how to survive, all this kind of stuff. And, you get the impression she's going to be a fairly solid final girl. The rest of them just look like, cannon fodder for the creatures that we're going to be introduced to later in the film. So I did think the setup was good. Then we were introduced to these characters, and and even though I didn't like a lot of them, the process of getting them to this mine and stuff was quite interesting. They get to this mine, and then I think from that point on, the film becomes incredibly predictable, very generic, and completely void of any tension, which surprised me. I just wasn't scared. I felt like these creatures were pretty generic. I thought the design was, even though I thought the effects were pretty good, I thought the design, they looked to me far too similar to a predator. But they obviously didn't behave like a predator in that sense. They almost like, and there's more than one creature, they're like working like a hive sort of thing. I think they're described in the film like, do they say ants? Something like that. There's like a hive mentality, and they drag you back to this hive, and they do things to you. It's almost like a cross between Predator and Starship Troopers. That thing that kind of sucks your brains, and I don't know. It just felt for me like throughout much of the film, like the second act, when there's a creature or creatures on the loose, and you go, okay, let's have a look. And every time it kind of half shows them, it blurs them, and you're just thinking, okay, just give us the money shot. And then, when it does give the money shot, there's a real sense of dissatisfaction or anticlimactic thing going on. You're like, is that it? And then it just kind of becomes like a race. You've got these locals that have been protecting this mine for so long, doing a pretty crap job, I would suggest. When you look at what they were doing to keep these creatures from the surface, it didn't seem very effective to me. I'm sure there's better things they could have done to kind of keep these creatures from getting to the surface, especially when they've had decades to work on a plan. And all they've really been doing is putting, it seems like, a fairly flimsy chicken wire over gaps to stop them getting out and electrifying them and stuff. That wasn't going to work forever, was it? And it certainly doesn't work forever in this film. While I do think, like I said, I think the performances were fine. I like the Will Patton character who plays this guy who's lost his kid all them years previously, and he's trying to protect others and keep the town safe and stuff. The way you could question the way he's doing it, but I quite liked his character. I would have preferred to see him in the film a little bit more. But it like I said, it just evolves into a fairly generic creature feature eventually. This film, and it I think it just got to a point where it just started ticking boxes, and it didn't for me. It wasn't fun. A creature feature should be fun. It should be, there should be moments of tension. There should be some good scares in there. And we didn't get that for a horror film, which I thought was really disappointing. And I thought the setup was there to kind of set up a decent film. So I thought the performances were fine by everybody. It was shot particularly well. There's some nice cinematography here and there, and the locations I thought were pretty impressive, like abandoned mines and abandoned mine shacks, all this kind of stuff. But I think the film ultimately failed to deliver overall, and I found it a little bit disappointing, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've seen the film, let me know what you thought of it in the comments, and I will, of course, be back with loads more content on the channel very, very soon. So thank you very much for watching.